This is my story of how I manifested learning Sarod from Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta ji. So this video will be in three parts. So initially the first part will be a little bit of my background of my music education and life journey a little bit, which is very much related to how I started the manifestation technique unconsciously, and then the real journey of how I got there, and finally my little advice and my best wishes for young and aspiring musicians. So this video is manifestation for artists. Going for my background, so basically music has been a huge part of my life. My entire family is full of musicians. Everybody, my grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, mother, father, everybody did some form of music. Either they played instruments or they sang. So growing up, music was a part of life, but as academics was another huge part of the life, it took me a while to absolutely fall in love with music. That happened pretty late, when I was in my 18 years old, 19 years old, in my high school. That is when I started getting serious about thinking about music and getting a perception of what good music is all about. So anyway, my graduation happened in 2007. I started my first job in Gurgaon in 2007. That was the time most of my friends were planning to either go to international MBA schools in US, UK, or preparing for Indian schools in MBA. And of course, going by peer pressure, I was kind of tempted, and I also took the GMAT because Indian MBAs did not seem very lucrative or whatever. And to be very frank, that was the first time in my life, when I was 25 years old, I realized my true love for India. And after I took the GMAT, and there was a decision point whether to go forward with it, to start applying to US MBA schools or not, I realized and I visualized what would I do once I land up in the US. And I realized I love India. No matter what the troubles are in here in India, I don't want an international MBA. In fact, that was also the time I started seriously thinking about getting a higher education in music. So far, 22 years of my life, I predominantly sang. So stage performances, college and schools, my parents had like these many certificates of me, all of singing competitions, various forms of music. Bhajans, Nazrul Gitis, Rabindra Sangeet, and all sorts of vocals music. But I wanted to take up an instrument. And since my first job posting was in Gurgaon, I had learned about various good schools of music in Delhi, New Delhi. And I had made up my mind, so I will definitely wanted to apply to a good school of music, and I wanted to learn the piano or the keyboard. So this was all in my head. This was also the time after a year passed in 2007, I wanted to change my career field altogether. So yeah, my growing up happened very fast. I realized analytics is not for me. I wanted to come to consulting. So this is a different, it's not related to music at all. So this is an engineering or corporate line of work. So I was working in analytics. I wanted to shift to consulting, and I was giving interviews, and I had cleared one final round of a Bangalore-based analytics startup at that time. I had cleared all 3 rounds of interviews in PricewaterhouseCoopers. I had a job offer from one of India's best social sector companies in those times. So the pay was less, but the quality of work was very good. But PwC was offering a lot of IT consulting profile. That was something I was really passionate about. So to see how technology field works in various industries across the world. Industry means education, manufacturing, financial services, and everything. So of course I took the PwC offer, and I had a very good discussion with my manager who took the final interview that I wanted to be posted in Gurgaon, and they said, yeah, absolutely, this is all the interviews happened in Gurgaon, so you will be posted here. Now for 3 months of that job offer from PwC, nothing, no word came from the HR, and I started getting worried, obviously, and I called the manager. I reported to him ki, sir, I have still not got the final letter of my appointment, and he was pretty surprised at that, because PwC at that time was one of the best employers. They had gotten a lot of awards, and so this was very unforeseen event for him. So he said, okay, just wait, Reshma, I'll check with the HR. And what happened was that post was filled in Gurgaon, and I was about to get the most frustrating news of my life at that time, I think. So my manager, he literally apologized. He said, Reshma, I'm extremely sorry. I'm saying from the bottom of my heart that we are not able to place you in Gurgaon. We will have to place you in Kolkata office of PwC. And that almost broke my heart. So Kolkata, I had no family in Kolkata. I had no friends in Kolkata. I had seen Kolkata. It's not really a very glamorous city to live in. Definitely not as compared to Gurgaon and Delhi, which I absolutely loved at that point in time in 2007. I had a very good social life in Delhi, Gurgaon. In fact, some of my best friends are based in Delhi till now. When I go to Delhi, I live at their places. So I had my friends. It was a very good life going on. So I had to basically swallow all my pain and shift to Kolkata. So once I shifted to Kolkata, this music thing was also started maturing or evolving. Okay, is it keyboard or piano or what is it? And I was obviously constantly listening to various classical music audios. At that time, even YouTube was not there. So I had a lot of MP3 files in my laptop, and I would listen to Sarod, sitar. I was very moved by the live Sarod performance that I had seen in my college campus. And so then I started evaluating. Now that I'm in Kolkata, and Kolkata is known for a few of the best gurus in Indian classical instrumental music. So these were the thoughts that were going on in my mind. And this was the time, so this is the second part of the video. This was the time I actually started like daydreaming about learning the Sarod. And when I told my parents, even they were pretty surprised. They thought that what about your piano and keyboard? And I said, no, now I'm in Kolkata. I think I have better options, and I would love to play the Sarod. Learn it. And Sarod is also quite, my logic was it's at least smaller in size than sitar, and I absolutely love the sound of the Sarod. So let me see. And this was the time I started daydreaming. Now this is the manifestation journey I would like all of you to pay attention to. So what I would do was, so this work was very hectic. So consulting was very new to me. My learning curve was very steep, and in PwC, in e-governance consulting, every role is leadership role. So a lot of things need to be managed on a daily basis and stuff like that. So I had not much of time to do literal research, but I would go back to home, and when I would relax in the night, I would close my eyes and I would smile, and I would see myself learning the Sarod, like sitting on a carpet on the floor playing the Sarod. And I would see that there was an old man, like with a fat build and white hair. Some old man was teaching me Sarod. I don't know why I was visualizing that, because until that point in my life, of 26 years of my life, I had never learned any instrumental music or any music per se from any old man. All music that I had learned was from my parents, and they were very young and good looking, charming people. So I don't know why that happened, but I used to feel very good looking and visualizing that. Feeling good playing the Sarod and being learning from an old man. So this happened very often. In fact, like 2 to 3 days a week, this would happen, and I would. So now while in office, I would also keep searching for Sarod schools and Sarod teachers. So on the Google, I will type music school plus Sarod. I would type Sarod music school, Sarod teachers plus Kolkata. I would type so many keywords, and I ended up getting phone numbers of a few music schools in Kolkata. I would call them, and some of them said, "No, we don't teach Sarod." They would put down the phone. Another one said, "No, we don't teach Sarod, but you can try. There are other teachers who teach Sarod in Kolkata." And then they will more politely give down the phone. Then I think third and the fourth school, somebody picked up the phone. They also said, a gentleman who spoke good English, by the way. His English was a lot like my English, so I actually liked hearing to his voice on the phone. He said, "Well, we don't teach Sarod, but I can refer to you someone who teaches Sarod. He's a young teacher, and he's also a student of Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta." And so my next question was, okay, so Buddhadev Dasgupta ji is a known teacher in town, and he said he is one of the best gurus of Sarod that you will find in Kolkata. I said, yeah, I'm definitely looking for a teacher in Kolkata. And then he said, and the teacher that I'm referring you to is one of the senior disciples of Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta ji, and his name is Pratyush Banerjee, and you take his number and you can call him and see what he says. And at the end of this, I asked him, "Sir, what is your name?" And I still remember his name. He said, "My name is J. Dasgupta." So I don't know, I never met him, but it was all thanks to Mr. J. Dasgupta, who gave me the number of my first Sarod teacher, Shri Pratyush Banerjee. So my training started. So my manifestation. So now this time, my training in Sarod continued for, I think, over a year in 2009, and I had completely forgotten about this manifestation thing, but I had done this so strongly. It was there in my heart and soul. So this year I totally concentrated on continuing my Sarod training and doing the riyaz. Obviously that was kind of another rigorous ritual that I had to bring in my lifestyle, which included 9 hours of work and then another hour of commute from home to office. And in Kolkata, I had no friends. So those were separate emotional issues to deal with. Living a life alone and doing all of that. So I just told myself, just stick to your Sarod riyaz. And I continued that, and I think my training went really well because it was validated by my neighbors and society people who would tell me that, "Oh, we are noticing your improvement in Sarod riyaz." I was like, wow. So anyway, so this happened for, I think, over a year, and then something started happening. What happened was I started feeling that. I started feeling that I need to learn from somebody else as well. It was not necessarily leaving this teacher and going to somebody else. Not that. It was basically, it was like a soul calling, I cannot express it properly in words perhaps, but I was getting a push from within that I need to be somewhere else as well. And that visualization again started coming to my head, that some old person is teaching me. And I will skip the details now. And so one fine day, I just called up Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta's landline number, and I told him, my name and where I'm learning from, and I would like to learn from him. And he asked me my backgrounds. What have you learned in music so far? And I told him the same background that I had told my first Sarod teacher about my vocal music training, and now this 1 year of training. So he simply said that, okay, you come to the Sunday class and we'll see how you play. This is my address, and he kept it short. I was very thrilled, and I went to his house, and whatever happened, I played whatever I had learned, small raga, bandish with a few tans, with the Sarod. And the Sarod that was there at Guruji's class was very heavy, so I was very scared whether I can even strum a few notes or not. But eventually, by God's grace, I could play the full bandish with some tans, and my training started. Now the third part of the video. What I want to say is, for artists, it may look like a very grim situation right now, given the lockdown situation, given lack of sponsors or event organizers. I want to say about the power of manifestation, because this is just one video I'm making. I have also manifested other things in my life that were very important to me, and going by logical explanation, that wouldn't have been possible. The power of manifestation is that when you feel that, when you visualize that you are already in that situation, you are already learning something, the universe or God or whatever you may call, this is what energy work is all about. They get the signal that I'm already in that vibration state of vibration, that something has already happened, and that is when it actually manifests. So yeah, this is for logically minded people. It's very hard, or in fact maybe impossible, to come to terms with this concept of energy vibrations, but this is true as me talking in this video, as real as that. So what I'm trying to say is, when I was manifesting, when I was visualizing learning Sarod from an old man, I didn't even know Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta's name. It just coming to me. In fact, before, so these things, yeah, started, as I said, when I reached Kolkata, I started visualizing this, and this happened way before my phone call with Mr. J. Dasgupta. So that's what I'm saying. At that time, I had no idea I would end up learning from an old man, from Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta ji. And but yes, it just happens like that. Whatever you visualize, it comes true. This is the message that I want to share with all artists, all musicians, anybody in fact, who are non-musicians. If you can visualize, if you can believe something from the bottom of your heart, know for sure that that's going to happen. But there is no clock to it. You cannot put a clock. You cannot say, I want it within this time, within a month, within a year. That will happen in its own time. All you have to do is keep your vibrations high, stay absolutely positive minded, do not allow any negative thought to creep in your state of being. If there are negative people in your surroundings, yeah, start, literally physically staying away from them, because energies get entangled, and that may interfere with the manifestation of what your dreams are about. So this is my story of manifesting, how I started learning Sarod from Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta ji, and definitely it's a blessing. So when I told my mom and my family, they could not believe. I mean, they literally had to, it took like, I think 2 or 5 minutes of time to believe that I could get access to one such teacher first in Kolkata, and then to one such guru of Sarod. So what I'm trying to say is, it's actually very simple. All the preconceived notions, if you have any, those don't matter. What you want to achieve in life in future, your past can never define what you want in future. Only your present, your positive thinking, your visualization, the power of visualization, your manifestation abilities, only those decide how much money you will earn, which guru, what sort of life you want. So this is the matter, and it is applicable to artists and every human beings, by the way. Because since I feel this is a very unique story, I do want to put it out on the internet, and so that it reaches to a lot many musicians, and especially during this time of a COVID lockdown. So yes, there is hope, and just believe in yourself, and pursue your craft with a lot of love, and that's what matters. If you think, okay, I'll make a career in music, I've learned this much, I've done this course, this level I have crossed, now this is my next level, probably that may not help. What will help is how much love do you put in your craft, how much dedication and good feeling you get when you play an instrument, when you make a song. Are you doing it, with love and with a lot of good feeling? If the answer is yes, you can achieve anything that you want, because the universe is feeling your feeling, and the universe wants to make things happen for you. So wish you all the best. The video is a bit longer, but then I think it's okay. I wish you all the best, and God bless you. Thank you.